Hey guys, I'm Heather Catlin here with the one and only John Travolta. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Yes, I love this new thriller. I gotta say, I was kind of freaked out the whole entire time.
I know. Well, it can do that.
Yeah.
Because it's powerful in that particular way. I mean, when I read the script, I was freaked out by it, but I loved it because it was something different, and we've never seen this story before. We've never seen these characters before, and I really love how they both kind of cross the line. Both the movie star and the fan kind of nuke the line of behavior, you know.
Yeah, and the Fanatic out August 30th, you play a stalker. You're first a really dedicated fan, and then you turn into a stalker, and the movie continues down that road. I don't want to ruin it for everybody. With your line of business, I mean, that has to be really great to be celebrated for what you do, but it also must be scary when people try to cross that line from fan to...
I've never, you know, I've had really good luck with fans, so this is more about really just doing it. This is not a political statement at all. This is just really an entertainment piece that is fascinating because the character that I play, Moose, is a man-child, utterly innocent and possibly on the spectrum of some sort. You know, and the movie star is a good person, but he's not a good celebrity. So the tire is flat, he kicks the cat. You know, and the same thing, Moose is a good person, but he goes over the line as a fan. Yeah. So you're not talking about bad people here, you're talking about, there's a naivete about the whole thing, but it turns into this horror, you know, ultimately. But that's what makes it an entertaining movie, you know. I
love it. And directed by Fred Durst, co-wrote by Fred Durst. How was it working with him, and what is he like as a director? Well,
he's wonderful because he wrote it for me. We were going to do a movie years ago, and we couldn't find the right one, and finally he sent this to me. It was fantastic. And the great thing about Fred is that he's an actor too. So he could improvise with me before I'd go on the scene, because this character, when you see the movie, he's a very unusual guy. So it takes some time to get into the zone of his thinking. So he would ask me questions about, you know, how my day was going, and you know, the character's name is Moose. He said, "How did you do today, Moose? And did you see anyone you knew? Or did you see any famous people?" And he would find different questions to ask me. So I would get into and I'd answer him as the character. I get into the framework of the mind of this character.
Yeah.
And every day we did that. And the crew would help me. I'd go to the cinematographer, I'd go to the prop department, I'd go to the lighting department, and I'd ask them, you know, they knew to just ask Moose questions. And when I would get in the zone, you couldn't get me out of it, because I had a whole group supporting the forces with Moose. Yeah. You know?
Was this just for something you do for this character, Moose, or on all your movies do you slip into that character prior?
It's a good question. Every character has a different method of getting you in the mind. With Moose, I needed to improvise to get to the zone of his behavior.
Yeah.
I needed to have a warm-up, let's say. With other characters, it might be a thought process or a certain behavior that you do prior to the set time. Sometimes rehearsal alone will get you in the zone, but rehearsal alone was not enough. I needed to actually improvise to go there, you know, because he's a wild thinker, this guy.
And the movements that you did throughout the movie. You've played a lot of memorable characters. Which character has been the hardest to get into?
Well, okay, I'll answer it this way. If you really know the character, and you've arrived at the ability to assume the beingness, there's not a difficulty factor. It's just, do you have the time to assume the zone in enough time to expertly attack that scene? And you have to carve that out. And some characters are easier to arrive at quickly, and others are, you know, but for instance, when you do something like Hairspray, you're already in this woman's outfit, so you're already thinking, you look at you're becoming her right away. You see.
I like how you just did this.
Yeah. So you just that.
Yeah.
So with Moose in this movie, the way he's dressed helps. The way he looks helps. But I needed to, because there's so much behavioral activity.
Yeah.
There's so many tics and movements. I liked a little warm-up process into that. With someone like Vincent Vega, in Pulp Fiction, it was more about just understanding that kind of guy and his addiction.
Yeah.
I could take you through every character, but each one of them had their own little way of arriving
Right.
at a zone of behaving.
Yeah.
And it is about behavior for me. I like that.
You as John Travolta, not your characters, how do you handle people who are starstruck when they come up to you?
Well, honestly, I sometimes don't clock that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I forget who I am so often, honestly.
Or maybe you're just used to it. That's what you've known for so long.
Maybe because I've been, since I was a kid, I've been famous, so I don't really see it. And then later I find out, like one time I was at a dentist's office and this dental assistant kept on making mistakes and, hurting me. And I said to the boss, the nurse, I said to the doctor, I said, you got to, he said, did you ever think it was your fault? And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, she's a bit starstruck. I said, okay, I didn't get that at all. But if she is, maybe we need to get
someone else on here to do my teeth. Or more
not
Novocaine.
Yes. So you get the idea.
Yeah.
I don't always observe it properly.
Yeah.
I appreciate it always. And then when I'm told that someone's starstruck, I'm always flattered deeply.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't always observe it because I'm never preoccupied with thinking of who I am or what I'm supposed to be.
That's a good thing. That's what makes you real. Your daughter is also in the business, so when it comes to just safety, being in the public eye, what do you tell her?
She's a pretty smart girl and perceptive. So I always, her instincts are so utterly good that I trust her instincts, and I don't really worry about her much. She always will go over where she's going, and if I thought it was a good idea or not, or the time of day or whatever, even though she's 19, she says, what do you think about if I went to this movie in this area? And I said, well, maybe, I think if it's daytime, you're fine. Maybe at night, because you have to go to the car, maybe you take a friend.
Yeah.
So she'll quality check it.
That's great.
Me. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You, I'm sure, get a lot of offers for roles. What makes you say yes to a script?
Something that's different than what I've done before, enough of a different story. Like Moose is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Something I've never played before, a story I've never told before, and something truly shocking and different.
Yeah.
Moose is as a shocking a movie as you get when you think it's one thing and it becomes another. So something different.
Yeah.
Something that I have affection for in the idea that I can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
You have to be excited about playing something, and you have to be excited about telling that story. And if all those two things align, I like the story, I like what I get to do in it, then that convinces me I should do it.
Yeah.
And I say no to a lot, I really do. So I try to handpick the ones that are, if I feel it's interesting to me, I have a good chance it'll be interesting to you.
I like it. Yeah. And Moose, before he turns that corner of being violent, he's passionate about Hunter Dunbar. What are you passionate about besides, your family and acting?
Oh, well, aviation for sure.
Did you fly here?
I did, yes. Yeah.
All right, I like it, all right. We were all wondering that.
Absolutely. And I fly all over the world to work and do all sorts of things. But that's a whole other career for me, So yeah, I'm passionate about that.
And I heard you're quite the cook. Is that true?
No, I wish. I'm totally a accidental cook, meaning if you gave me some ingredients, I'm creative enough that I could put them together and make you something that might taste pretty good. I'm not, let's put it this way. I don't believe that you can't make something out of, you can make something out of nothing. And, you know, give me some lemons, I'll give you a lemonade. You know, so I do believe in that, but I would far from call me a cook. I can bake good peanut butter chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, I like it. I'm good
cupcakes.
at ordering, so I'll order some of those already.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, John, thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
here. Guys, make sure to go see the Fanatic out August 30th.